Hey, it's Chris with PhotoDabbler.com. In this video, we're just going to do a kind of like a dark and moody type of edit. I do have to kind of admit that, like after I've done a couple of them, I kind of like this edit style. But anyways, here's our image, and basically we're in our develop mode. This is in Lightroom Classic, but regular Lightroom or Photoshop, Camera Raw, all have the same settings for this, so you can use these settings in any of those programs. All right, so basically we're just going to go in our basic tab here, and our temperature, we're just going to raise it up to a little bit to maybe 5, and then tint we're going to drag out to maybe 10, 11, something like that. Exposure, now I'm going to come back to this, but a lot of what I'm seeing, if you darken it down like maybe a stop and a half, that's a good look. Contrast we can bring up to like 30. And then shadows we're going to bring down to maybe around -50. And then our blacks to -40. And I think I'm going to bring this exposure back up just a little bit. So maybe -0.6. Alright. So clarity we're going to slide over to about +20. And then our vibrance, we're going to go ahead and go to around 20 also. Alright, so once we have basically all our basic settings down, we can close that one out and go into tone curve. And basically we're just going to go on this one right here and maybe put a point or two in this area and then drag this one up. Trying to drag this one, there we go, to around like 15, something like that. Alright, so that's it on there, and you can mess around with these two, but these settings will work basically for a ton of different images. I've tried them on. Alright, so now we're going to go into our HSL or our color tab and go to our hues and saturations and luminance. So hues, we're just going to change 2 colors. We're going to drag our red to like +50. And then I need to stretch this out a little bit if it'll let me. Alright. Alright, so +50 here, and then our yellows we're going to take all the way down to -100. Okay, we'll switch to our saturation. Leave our red at 0. We're going to change our orange to around like -25. And then the rest of the colors we're just going to drag all the way to -100. Okay, and that will do it for like the HSL and the color tab. Color grading, we're only going to do a little bit in the highlights, and basically you have all 3 here. You have your shadows here, your midtones here, and your highlights here. So we're going to click on the highlights, and if we take this arrow down, if you don't see like your hue and saturation, just click on this arrow, and then our hue we're going to change to like 30ish. Something like orange, like kind of orange, but almost on the yellow side. And then we're going to bring our saturation to like 4 or 5. I mean, we could go more than that, but I think with people, we're just going to leave it around 5, 6, 7 in that area. Alright, so, and that's all for that. And you could mess around with blending and balance. I mean, you could take your balance all the way to the right and just create a little bit more highlights, but I'm just going to leave this be right now. Okay, we'll go ahead and close that out. And then in details, basically all I'm going to mess with is sharpening a little bit to like 25, 30, something like that. And noise reduction, we can add a little bit. That looks pretty good. Alright, so the only thing really left to do is go into our color calibration, which this is all the way at the bottom, so a lot of people don't use this, but I'm going to change my green primary hue all the way to plus 100. And you can mess with the other colors, but once we took all the saturation and stuff out of most of the colors, then you're not going to really notice anything down here. Alright, so last step, if you want, you can add a vignette. This is going to be basically a lot to do with the image. Alright, so like some images, I mean, that's a lot right there, but if you just kind of do it a little bit to where it's just kind of hitting the corners a little bit and draw more focus to the center, that looks pretty good there. Alright, so this is actually the final look for this, and we could go around and tweak some more settings, but this gives you a basic idea. But like, here's the before, which is a good shot like this, but then your dark and moody black tones, I guess you want to call it, that edit, this is the end result. So you see your before and afters there. Alright, so I did actually save this as a preset, so like I could just go ahead and click on my preset, but then add my vignette, and then take my exposure. Because I didn't, on the preset, I didn't do anything with exposure, but maybe around like that. Okay, so that's that one, and we could just like add another image in here, and then I could just hit my black tones Moody preset, and it does that, and then maybe bring my exposure down a little bit. Alright, and it works for a lot of different photos, so it's just kind of look I've been seeing and trying to recreate, and it looks pretty cool. Alright, so so there you have it. That's just how to do a dark and moody edit in Lightroom Classic or Lightroom or Photoshop Camera Raw, which is what I use the most anyways. If you like this video, go ahead and hit like and subscribe if you like, and we will be making a bunch more soon, so look forward to posting some more. Have a good night. Thank you.